Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing 11 lighthearted mysteries that you can just cozy up with, snuggle up with, grab a cup of hot cocoa or tea. So we're going to go through that list today, starting off with A True Confections mystery by Sarah Fox. These are book 1 and 2. There's currently 2 books out. I've read both of these. We have Six Sweets Under and Baking Spirits Bright. And our main character in this is Becca Ransom, and she's a former actress, and she has moved back to Larch Haven, Vermont, which is essentially the Venice of North America. So you have gondolas and these just beautiful waterfronts you can kind of see here on the cover of the boat. You also have 2 very delightful feline companions here. They're very cute. She has a catio, like a cat patio for them. And the mysteries in this are just really fun. She has her grandparents. There's a good relationship with them there. Their names are Lolly and Pops. Really adorable. The setting for this really stands out for me. She works at their True Confections shop where she does like chocolatier work, and it's just really delightful. This one involves a baking competition, and it's just so cozy. It feels like you're getting wrapped up with a blanket. It's got the cats, it's got the Venice kind of element, it's got just this beautiful plot and series, and I just really like it. It feels like a really back to your roots kind of story with mysteries that are really fun. I think this one in particular, Baking Spirits Bright, was especially strong, but both were really fun, cozy reads to snuggle up with. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Satanto. I checked this out from my library at the beginning or the end of last year, and oh my goodness, it's one of my favorite reads from last year. I'll link my 23 best books of 2023. This one made it in there. I'll link that above if you want to check it out. But Vera Wong is a mother of a certain age, she's described. So she's a little bit older. She's got a full-grown adult son who she's kind of in communication with, but he's not the most attentive, and she lives above her tea shop. She's also a widow, but her personality will make you smile. She is just the most delightful character. You will want your own Vera Wong in your life after reading this book. At least I did. You have all the cozy tea elements. The premise for the actual murder is that Vera Wong, one day she comes downstairs to her tea shop after waking up. She's got a very strict routine she likes to stick to, and she discovers a body just laying there in her tea shop, and she has no idea who this person is, and she calls the cops. But before the cops get there, she decides to take a look herself, see what's going on, and she finds a flash drive, and she actually even pockets it, and then she goes on, of course, to solve the murder. Oh my goodness, the food in here, the tea shop, the fact that she's a mother and she's so caring and loving to everyone who really she comes across. She's so amazing. I really love her as a character. I really hope this will become a series. I haven't heard anything about it one way or another, but I'm hoping it's a series because I want more Vera Wong. She's like the embodiment of a hug. I love her. It's so cozy, so warming, and she really takes in these people that she encounters throughout the book. She kind of takes them under her wing because they're all hurting in one way or another, and she just comforts them with her food and her nature, and I just love that. So this was a very, very cozy read, one of my favorites. An Agreeable Murder by Julia Seals is another one I checked out from my library last year, and this one is perfect for you if you are a fan of Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen, if you like Bridgerton, or what is it called? Downton Abbey, anything like that. This one takes place in the late 1800s, I want to say. Our main character is Beatrice, and her family is not doing well financially. Although they're upper class in society, they're not doing great financially. Her father and mother only have daughters, and they are all unmarried, so they don't have anyone to really provide income. And basically they're at a point where if the uncle, if one of the daughters doesn't get married to a rich suitor, the uncle will inherit the estate and take over, which is really not good for them. So Beatrice, our main character, she's the eldest daughter, so even though she's been putting off marriage and she actually has a secret love of reading true crime stories in the newspaper, which of course is very unladylike for the times, it would be very frowned upon, she decides to take on responsibility, and they're going to this ball. And there's this very wealthy bachelor that's going to be there that everyone has their eyes on, and she's determined to, make a match with him. to save her family from the uncle inheriting and maybe them having to move to France. Oh no. But the writing for this is very funny. It's very cozy, but there's a lot of like satire about the times in it. It's really funny. I really enjoyed it. Like it reads kind of like a Jane Austen novel meets like a Miss Marple or Agatha Christie novel with a touch of humor about the times. It's very like self-effacing. I really enjoyed this. Beatrice is a lovely character. There's a really nice like subplot with her. I really enjoyed the characters in this because this, of course, some kind of murder happens at the ball and that's kind of our setting for it. It's so much fun. I had such a good time with this. The ending was very intense but fun and just heartwarming, and I just loved it. So cozy. It was like the perfect read for like a rainy day. The next one is a young adult mystery series that isn't like marketed as cozy, but because it's young adult, it's pretty tame and I really enjoy it because it has a lot of nostalgia for me, and that is the Clue mystery series by Diana Peterfreund. I have read the first 2 books in this. I still need to get my hands on the last book. It's a trilogy, but this basically reimagines the characters from the popular Clue board game as young adults who are at this boarding school and murders happen. You're jumping around from each of their perspectives, you know, so like Mustard, Orchid, Scarlet, Green, etc. They all have their own interesting backstories and quirks. You really get to know the characters throughout this, and each one of course involves some kind of murder that they kind of solve, and it's really fun. This one involves, in particular, In the Hall with the Knife is book 1, and they're actually snowed in and they're some of the only students left on campus, and then one of their own is murdered, and it's very high stakes, very fun. This one of the mystery is a little easier to solve. This one actually, the mystery like floored me. The ending I didn't see coming whatsoever, but I've just really enjoyed these because it's so much fun to see characters I love from the Clue board game and the Clue movie reimagined as young adults. I just loved that element and all the little Easter eggs that you can kind of pick up on, so I really loved that, and it's just such a fun time, easy to fly through, nice and cozy with a beautiful, very like kind of dark academia setting with the, you know, this beautiful school that they're all at. So I really enjoyed that. What is it? It's called Black Brook Academy, an elite prep school. So that is our setting. It's nestled in a remote area of Maine. So a really great setting, amazing, fun, quirky characters that just bring a lot of nostalgia, at least for me personally, and I really recommend this. I've had such a good time reading it. I can't wait to read the last book in the trilogy, although I'm really sad that it'll be over, but we'll see. If you are somebody who's really into like family-centric mysteries where there's a lot of great family members, it's very cozy because of the familial ties, I think you'd really enjoy the Ice Cream Parlor mystery series by Abby Collette. I've read all 3 books that are out in the series. This is book 2, A Game of Cones, and then we have A Killer Sunday, which is book 3. Our main character is Bronwyn, or Wyn. She's called by her family, and she comes back in book 1 to help save her family's ice cream shop. It's called Crew's Creamery. Her grandmother and grandfather opened the shop, but her grandmother has passed away, I think, a while back, and she was kind of the heart of the operation. She's the one who kind of developed new recipes and stuff, and Bronwyn decides to come back and apply her marketing background to the shop, and so she revamps it. It's a really wonderful project. You get to kind of see the shop grow. This one takes place in Chagrin, Ohio, or Chagrin Falls, Ohio, so it's a beautiful setting, lots of snow, very like nice like seasonal aspects. This one she actually gets an ice cream truck, so you're watching the business expand, which I love. She's got 2 quirky best friends in the first book that continue through the series that you really grow to love. They're both very zany characters, a little over the top, but just fun characters, and the mysteries for these have been really fun. I just really love the family elements. I think they're so I just want to like hug all of them. So I guess a little bit of a trend I'm picking up on here is that, like Vera Wong, I feel like some of our more like senior characters are just, they add this like extra like loving like layer to things. Like I love characters that are mothers or grandmothers, even though I'm not one myself. I just really love that. I think it adds just so much heart to the story. And in this case we have Gladdy Gold, who is Florida's oldest private eye. This is book 1 in the series, Getting Old as Murder. Oh my goodness. This series is so fun. It's so tongue-in-cheek. It's such a great writing style, very punchy, very fun. We have Gladdy Gold and her friends who are all about 75 years old. They live in this retirement village in Fort Lauderdale, and they're just, you know, they're living their best lives with lots of quirks. You know, they like to have like these little funny jokes about things they're experiencing, and it's It's so much fun. I could not recommend this enough. The first book here, basically they get involved in a mystery because some of the people in the retirement community are kind of mysteriously dying. And of course you would expect there to be more people dying in a retirement community than other maybe communities just because of the like average age, but there's something mysterious about the deaths. So Gladdy Gold and her friends start to kind of investigate because the police won't take them seriously, and they're like, you know what? We can do it. So they're like Miss Marple meets like Charlie's Angels. Really fun, beautiful setting. The writing style is hilarious. It's so much fun, and the mystery for this, the ending was so surprisingly intense, like still very fun, very cozy, very lighthearted, but I was shocked. I was pretty surprised. I was like, wow, we went there. Okay. So it was a pretty intense ending. I just bought book 2 and I'm really excited to read that this spring because it takes place on a cruise. So I really want to read it during the springtime. But you just can't help but love these gals. I mean, look at just the illustration itself gives so much into their personality. I love how they say on the back here, but amid the endless rounds of poolside kibitzing, early bird specials, and bittersweet memories, Gladdy is about to discover how the murders are being committed. And when it comes to catching the culprit, time really is running out. I love it. This has completely stolen my heart. It was a 5-star, like, instant love for me. So a newer cozy mystery series I've been getting into is a Ground Rules mystery by Emmeline Duncan. I'm reading this in my library right now. I'll pop the first book on screen right now. And this one involves our main character, Sage. It takes place in Portland, Oregon, and she's opening a like coffee truck. So it's like where she has it, it's a collection of other food trucks. So you get all these great just discussion of other foods that she's exposed to, pastries, and then her coffee cart. And even though I can't drink coffee, it's just too much caffeine, I love everything about coffee, like the atmosphere, the smells, like it just is such a cozy beverage. So it's the epitome of that. And so she's just opening that with her friend in this first book, and she's got an interesting past actually. Like her mother is actually a con artist, so she actually grew up learning some stuff about con artists that she kind of employs to help her solve the mystery, not in like a nefarious way, like she's using the skills for good now, but very interesting with that. I really enjoyed the past story. I'm kind of diving into it, but in the first one there is a body that's found near her coffee cart, and the whole food truck like plaza is shut down during the investigation, and because her business is brand new, she's really concerned about it failing financially, so she gets involved in the case, and I love her. She just had so much heart. She was a very interesting character with her backstory. The coziness of the food truck community was really great. They had a lot of lovely communication with each other, and I really enjoyed that, so highly recommend that series. Okay, this next one just again stole my heart, and this one actually takes place in Oregon as well. It's called Upper Sprocket, and that is the Shake Shop mystery series by Dana Mentink. The first one is called Pint of No Return. This is book 2, A Sprinkle in Time. I could not recommend this more. So our main character in this is Trinidad Jones, and in the first book she is relocated to Upper Sprocket, Oregon after divorcing her husband, and Trinidad inherits some property out there as part of like the divorce proceedings. So she decides to pursue her dream of opening like an ice cream shake shop. Really fun already. Well, this is the second one we're having with ice cream, I guess, but a really fun setting already. And what I like about this was very unique to me, is that you find out that there's actually 2 other ex-wives in the area of the same husband, and she didn't know about that, but she finds out when she moves out there because they also inherited stuff during their divorces, and you actually see these women bond together, which I think is so beautiful, because you're so used to in media and fiction like seeing women at each other's throats sometimes, especially when there's like a guy involved, they kind of are at each other's throats, but these women all bond over the fact that the husband was an absolute jerk, loser, that kind of thing, and I love that companionship. And her grandfather also comes out to Upper Sprocket, and you have this beautiful connection with him, and I could not recommend this enough. It's so cozy. The mysteries, especially this one, blew my socks off. A really solid mystery. I barely put it together, but it was so satisfying. And the second one actually takes place, this one here, during the fall in Alpenfest, which added an extra layer of cozy, but I really recommend this series. I found it to just be so enjoyable. I cannot wait for the next book. I know it just came out. It's actually a Christmas one. I'll put it on screen, but I need to get my hands on that one. Okay, and then I could not make this list without including the Bakeshop mysteries by Ellie Alexander. There's like 17 or 18 books out in this series, so you have quite the backlist. And basically our main character in this is Jules. In the first book she's come back again, actually I think to Oregon, Ashland, Oregon. We have a very organ heavy theme with some of these, but she comes back after running into some disagreements with her husband. She was like a bakery chef, pastry chef on a cruise ship. She moves back in with her mother, and her mother owns this bake shop named Tort. It's been in the family, and she decides to help her mother. The community and setting in this, like every time I read another book in this series, I feel like I'm returning home, like somewhere I've been before, even though I've never actually been there. It's just so nostalgic. The setting is gorgeous. The seasons and the holidays are especially highlighted in this series, which I think adds to the coziness because I love reading something that's relevant to whatever season or holiday I'm around. I love that. Jules herself is a really enjoyable, relatable character. Her bond with her mother is amazing. As they grow their shop, you learn about different employees, they hire on different people, and all of them are really fleshed out, unique characters who you just are rooting for, and I could not recommend this enough. The mysteries are always solid, and again, if you're looking for a specific cozy mystery to meet, like, you know, 4th of July even, or Christmas or Halloween, or just a summer one or a spring one or a winter one, you can find it in this series because it's just so pronounced, and I love that. And there's also the Shakespearean theme throughout the series because Ashland, Oregon is really big on Shakespeare, so they do all these festivals, and one of her friends, Lance, is a like theater director in town, so you get a lot of fun elements with like show, which I think is really fun, so it's so cozy. You just can't go wrong. And then lastly, we have A Baker Street Mystery by Valerie Burns. This is book 2 in this series. Murder is a Piece of Cake. The first one is called 2 Parts Sugar, 1 Part Murder, which I think is one of my favorite cozy mystery titles. It's so much fun. But our main character in this is Maddie, and in the first book, she's actually kind of like a social media influencer, like marketing person, and she's been dumped by her fiance and she's moving out to Michigan, which she's used to like big city life and like a warm area, not Michigan. So she's moving out to, I think it's called New Bison, this small Michigan town, and she learns that her Aunt Octavia has left her like bake shop, her home, and her dog, who is this giant mastiff named Baby. And when we say giant, we're talking like a human-sized dog, like a very, very large dog. And Maddie is a little less than enthused because she's not a dog person. She doesn't know anything about baking. But in terms of the will, she has to be there for at least a year and to take care of Baby, the mastiff, to meet the like stipulations. So she gets involved with it, and you just see her growing as a character, because in the first book she's a little more like standoffish, a little more snobby maybe, but you see her just grow as a person and just meld into the community. You see her really care about other people and get into the mystery solving, and it's just so beautiful. And I love the place that she's working as Baby Cakes Bakery after the mastiff. It's so cute. So if you like a good culinary cozy, this is just, you can't beat it. It's fun, it's cute, you fly through it. These ones are particularly short, like this one's only 250 pages, so it's a pretty short, easy to read, fun to read. Just sit down, get your cake, get your sweets, get your hot cocoa, whatever you enjoy, and sit there and enjoy one of these books. I really recommend it. And that is everything for this quick lighthearted mysteries book. I hope this gave you some inspiration for some fun books to check out if you're just looking to cozy up on a cold winter day. These would be some of my recommendations. Let me know what your recommendations are below in the comments. I love collecting recommendations from you guys and adding them to my Goodreads and getting around to them because you guys have so many good recommendations. And thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do post new book content every week on this channel. I primarily focus on cozy reads, cozy mysteries, thrillers, anything in a mystery genre basically, and then we also do some like kind of cozy reading vlogs. So if you enjoy anything like that, I hope you'll hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!